this lecture, we will see what is correlative level coding, also known as partial response signaling. We have already seen the Nicosia criteria for distortionless baseband binary transmission. So we know for a distortionless baseband binary transmission, the Nicosia rate is 2W and the Nicosia bandwidth is W hertz. And correlative level coding, we can achieve the same bandwidth of W hertz by allowing a small amount of ISA in the transmitted signal. Okay, this ISA is known to the receiver. So we have already seen since this Nicosia bandwidth of W hertz, that is a Nicosia channel, ideal Nicosia channel, it is impossible or to implement it practically. We have seen the raised cosine, but in the raised cosine what we have done is we have increased the bandwidth, that is the bandwidth ranges from W to 2W. In the case of correlative level coding, the bandwidth is the same. Bandwidth is again the same, that is the W hertz, but we introduce a small amount of ISA which is known to the receiver. So how you get this correlative level coding? This is implemented by two methods. One is a duobinary signaling and the second method is by modified duobinary signaling. So in this lecture, we will see what is duobinary signaling and the frequency or the transfer function of a duobinary signaling system. Okay, so this shows the block diagram of the duobinary signaling. This duobinary signaling is also known as class 1 partial response. It is also known as class 1 partial response. Class 1. So here is a block diagram and you can see this part is a normal Nicosia channel. This represents an ideal Nicosia channel. Okay, so in front you have an extra block. This is a duobinary encoder. So what does this duobinary encoder do is, it takes the input, that is AK, that is a pulse amplitude modulated signal. So you know, if I have 0 as my input, my pulse amplitude modulated signal AK will take value -1. If 1 is my input, pulse amplitude modulated signal AK will take the value +1. So this AK will given as input to the duobinary encoder. And in duobinary encoder, you have a summer here. So what does it do is it sum the present input AK and the delayed input. Okay, that is a previous input. So what it do is AK plus is previous input, that is AK -1. These two are summed. And if I represent the output from the duobinary encoder as CK, so I can write CK equal to AK plus AK -1. So consider my AK is having the value, we know AK will take the value -1 or +1. So consider AK is having the value -1 and AK -1 is again having the value -1. In that case, my CK will be -1 plus -1, that will be -2. If AK is taking the value +1 and AK -1 is again taking the value +1, CK will take the value +2. If AK is taking the value -1 and AK +1 is taking the value +1, or in the reverse, it will be taking the value 0. So CK will take the value from the set 2, 0 or -2. So this is the output from the duobinary encoder. So this one is given to the ideal Nicosia channel. So here we see how to find out the overall transfer function of this full system, that is H1 of F. So for that, first we find out what is the transfer function of this duobinary encoder first. So we first write down the output for the duobinary encoder. We know the output of the duobinary encoder is AK plus AK -1. Now we can write down the frequency domain representation or the frequency response of the duobinary encoder. You know, AK is the input to the duobinary encoder. So when I give AK as input, my output is AK plus AK -1. So my frequency response of the system will be, so here whatever be the input multiplied by one same input, then a delayed version. So my frequency response will be 1 plus, then here I can apply the time shifting property. So I will be having e raised to -j 2 pi f. TB is the time period. We know TB is the bit duration. Okay, so 1 plus e raised to -j 2 pi f TB. So this is the frequency response of the duobinary part. So you get the frequency response of this part. Now for the Nicosia channel, we already know. So what will be the total filter response of this duoband ray signaling? It will be multiplication of these two, since these are a cascaded system. So you can write the transfer function of the overall system H1 of f will be H Nicosia into the frequency response of the duobinary, that is 1 plus e raised to minus d 2 pi f tb. Okay, now here I have the term 1. I have the term 1 where I can write the 1 like this. That is 1, I can express this term 1 as 1 equal to e raised to minus j pi f tb into e raised to plus j pi f tb. Okay, similarly I have the term e raised to minus j 2 pi f tb. This I can write it as e raised to minus j pi f tb into e raised to minus j pi f tb. So from these two terms I can take e raised to minus j pi f tb as common. Okay, so that I put it that I put outside bracket. Then what I left is e raised to plus j pi f tb plus e raised to minus j pi f tb. So inside I will be having left with e raised to plus j plus e raised to minus j pi f tb. I have taken this term as common. Okay, now you have this term. This is actually in the format e raised to j theta plus e raised to minus j theta. Okay, so you know this, you can write it as 2 cos theta. So you can use this expression over here, e raised to j theta plus e raised to minus j theta. I can replace it 2 cos theta. Okay, so this will be the expression for h1 of f. So in this expression you have h Nicosia of f. H Nicosia is ideal Nicosia channel. You know the response of ideal Nicosia channel. So you can substitute h Nicosia in this expression. So you know h Nicosia, it will be having the frequency response of ideal Nicosia channel. We know it will be having a non-zero value from minus w to w. Okay, and this is h Nicosia of f, where you know we know the value of 1 by 2 w will be equal to tb, or you know tb equal to 1 by 2 w equal to tb, or you can write w equal to 1 by 2 tb. So it is having the non-zero value from minus w to plus w, where w equal to 1 by 2 tb. So h Nicosia I can write it is having a non-zero value. I haven't considered the amplitude, just written it as 1 from minus 1 by 2 tb to plus 1 by 2 tb and 0 otherwise. Okay, so you can substitute in your expression for h1 of f. So in h1 of f I have 2 cos, then h Nicosia. H Nicosia I substitute it as 1. So it is having a non-zero value only for this duration. So h1 of f again having a non-zero value only for this duration, and remaining values will be multiplied by 0. So 0 otherwise. Okay, so this is what we have done in this expression. We replace h Nicosia by 1 for particular duration to get the h1 of f. So this is the overall frequency response of the duoband ray signaling scheme, and you can see here. You can see there is a overall frequency response as a half cycle. It is cos pi f tb for 1 by 2 tb. So it is a half cycle, and it is a cosine wave. And what will be the maximum amplitude? It is multiplied by 2. Cos is having maximum amplitude 1, e raised to 0. It is having the value 1. So the maximum amplitude will be 2. So you can plot this. So this is actually a cosine wave, is it? So you can plot this. When you plot this, you will get it like this. At 0, you will be having the maximum value 2. Okay, and you know it is having a non-zero value only from minus w to w, or minus 1 by 2 tb to 1 by 2 tb. So this is a frequency response. Now you have to plot the argument or the angle of h1 of f. So in order to find out the angle, you know the expression angle is given by tan inverse y by x. So you know the expression. Where y is an imaginary part and x is a real part. So what you have to do is you have to split the expression into real and imaginary part. So for that you again rewrite the expression for h1 of f. h1 of f is 2 cos pi f tb into e raised to minus j theta. This is in the form e raised to minus j theta. So I can have to split into real and imaginary. So this e raised to minus j theta, I can write it in this form, that is in this form. This e raised to minus j theta equal to cos theta minus j sin theta. So that I can split that into real and imaginary. Okay, so this I write it as cos theta minus j sin theta. Now you open the bracket, so you will be having cos square term here, and here you will be having j cos into sin term here. So this is your real part x and this is your imaginary part y. So when you take y by x, one cos will cancel out and 2 and 2 will cancel out. You will be having a minus sign. 2 and 2 will cancel out. So in the numerator you will be having sin pi ftb, by in the denominator one cos will cancel out. You will be having cos pi ftb. So that is actually tan. So you have minus of tan or tan minus of pi ftb. Okay, so that is y by x. So you have the angle is tan inverse of y by x. So tan inverse of tan minus pi ftb. So this tan inverse and tan will cancel out. So your answer will be minus pi ftb. So you can plot this as a function of frequency. So when you plot this as a function of frequency, at f equal to 0 you will be having 0 value, and f equal to 1 by 2 tb you will find out the corresponding value, that you will get it's minus pi by 2. Substitute f equal to minus 1 by 2 tb, you will get the corresponding value as pi by 2. So this is the frequency response of the duobinary signaling system. Now in the impulse response we will see in the next lecture. Okay, thank you.